I have a question. Are all American singers, composers, and musicians absolute and complete idiots? Or is it possible that by chance there might be one or two exceptions among them? Well, not exactly, how should I put it gently, not exactly total jerks. Every year in the United States, an award called the Grammy is given out. It's the most prestigious American music award, a kind of musical Oscar, received by performers, composers, and producers. At the 2026 ceremony, the host Trevor decided to supposedly make a joke, but in reality, he tried hard. Well, basically smear Trump, accuse Trump of pedophilia, link him to Epstein, and he did it with the finesse of a lame orangutan. Trump, Trevor said, wants Greenland. That was probably very funny. Yeah, because he needs a new place, a new island to hang out with Bill Clinton. Well, now, Bill Clinton is basically a synonym for pedophilia, so they linked him with Bill Clinton, but what are they supposed to do there, in Greenland? Instead, that island disappeared. So, does that mean sexual acts with underage girls? Clinton and Trump will now have to go to Greenland. Yes, Trump didn't fly to the island. Bill did, but I can't remember if it was 28 or 38 times. So Trump wasn't involved with underage girls? Samarin, Bill Gates, Samarin, and Clinton, the same one, yes. And also, by the way, according to rumors, Hillary Clinton also flew there separately and used the services of 14, 15-year-olds innocent beings. So actually, ladies and gentlemen, the truth and honesty, they really don't need them. They just don't need them. If they get in the way of the goal, well, as long as they don't get in the way, fine, let them be. But if they interfere, that's it. Because socialist Democrats, who are basically communo-fascists, believe that the goal absolutely, 100% without exception, justifies any means. They completely agree on this with Mao Zedong, Joseph Vissarionovich, Trotsky, and another couple dozen Pol Pots, also Ceausescu. They all have a noble goal to destroy the person they fear and hate. Any means, I repeat, are acceptable for this purpose. It gets worse. The host, to the absolute delight of the mocking audience, linked Trump to a crime, smeared him, basically calling him, without saying the word, a pedophile. It's like accusing Trump of finding two prostitutes in Moscow and brought them to his hotel room, made them urinate on the bed. Why? For what reason? There was a political motive because Obama had previously slept in that bed, in that room. By the way, maybe with Michelle. Well, honestly, that's just pure fantasy, right? I mean, God, how many idiots have repeated this with delight countless times. We've already been told that this story was made up by Dmitriev and approved by Hillary. But what about the island and pedophilia? So by giving up Clinton, who they don't need anymore, he's an old goat after all, they can just throw him under the bus. Yes, they haven't admitted they're lying yet, but maybe they'll confess at some point, or maybe not. They might keep trying to cover it up. Well, naturally, Trump got furious about that. The next day, Trump wrote that the 26th Grammy ceremony was the worst in history. Unbearable to watch, and garbage. I completely agree with him on that. Then he said that he had never even been near Epstein's island. Trump called Noah a loser, a talentless host. I absolutely agree with him on that too. And that even the fake news, well, that is our American media, never dared to claim or accuse Trump of pedophilia. And in the end, Trump suggested sending a team of lawyers and suing Noah, the show, and the network that broadcast all this for slander. As we know, American Broadcasting Company paid Trump $15 million for slander. Columbia Broadcasting System and Paramount paid $16 million for the same thing. And Meta, which is the former Facebook, paid 25 million alts. The New York Times is now trying to fight off a $15 billion lawsuit. I don't know at what stage it is. The case involves the British Broadcasting Corporation, the British one, and I believe Trump sued them for $10 billion. So when Trump says he'll send in the lawyers, he actually does. Naturally, the liberal media reacted as expected, calling Trump a tyrant. So I'm called a tyrant and madman just for enjoying a good sandwich with tea. Who's there? Burns, I think, yes, the one who's supposedly a tyrant, uses threats against comedians, journalists, artists. My God, what don't they say about him? Another person would have just started shooting with a machine gun, but this one just says, I'll send the lawyers. Yeah, and he does that. Why is he trying to suppress freedom of speech when they're calling you, excuse me, a pedophile? And you say, guys, I'm going to sue you for this, yeah, for your vile lies. And they call that suppression of freedom of speech. I want to say you're a pedophile. And they also say that Trump takes satire seriously, like he's such a fool, a jerk, a fool who doesn't understand anything. Takes satire as slander, that's how he takes it.
It's like that Grammy that every artist wants almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. Because Epstein's island is gone now. He needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton, so, I told you, this is my last year.
Did it seem like satire to you, or is it slander, pure, simple, ordinary slander? Satire is kind of mocking certain vices in people, in society, and ideology. It's not just a joke for fun, right? It's a kind of accusation, so to speak. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good anymore. Yeah, laughter exposes someone, right? What are they exposing Trump for? Being a pedophile or something? So, in other words, through laughter, it wasn't really funny for Trump. He was accused of pedophilia. By the way, I would be furious too. What about you? According to the definition in the Encyclopedic Dictionary, this isn't even satire, it's slander. Spreading lies that damage honor, dignity, and undermine reputation. Slander can have legal consequences. But that's what Trump does, ladies and gentlemen. He considers it slander. And from his point of view, as the President of the United States, as a businessman, as a person, as a husband, as a father, he is obliged to punish her. Would you just let this go unpunished? Yes, Grammy Graham Chain didn't stop there. Oh no, so once a year they get together to talk about music. What do they talk about instead? You guessed it. Instead, they talked about something much more interesting. About Trump, some Bat Banny. Well, maybe those who are into music know who that is. I just don't know who that is. In his speech, he suddenly started criticizing migration policy. He was supposed to talk about music, but he started criticizing migration policy. Billie Eilish, instead of giving a thank you speech for Song of the Year, said that white people killed the Native Americans and took their land, and they have no right to keep out those who want to come here. The silly girl doesn't understand, or maybe he's the silly one. Well, in my opinion, the silly girl doesn't understand. By letting migrants in here, well, the illegals we're talking about, yes, we have to feed them, give them water, treat them, clothe them, educate them according to our law, and then support them for many years, because they can't contribute in any way and most likely will never be able to participate in our lives. But they'll definitely bring their families, who will also need food, water, care, housing, and education. Olivier, the director of DIN, and Glory Esperon were also not talking about music. It turned out they were not interested in music at all. As soon as they were given a chance to speak, they started talking about migration, families, detention centers, and inhumanity, because Americans must pay more than they do now, and even more later, and then even more after that. Otherwise, it's unfair. It's different otherwise. They claim they're already contributing enough, so they won't pay more, but expect everyone else to pay much more. So the music awards ceremony has turned into a party meeting, as they now call themselves, democratic socialists, well, fascists or communo-fascists, as we would say, who understand absolutely nothing about economics, but consider themselves experts. And most importantly, they are compassionate. But when migrants are settled next to them, there have already been such cases. Our celebrities throw hysterical public tantrums and demand that the police immediately move them to a safer and more proper place. I think their own home is the safest place. Here in the United States, no one settled them in their homes, just nearby, somewhere not far at all. What a horror, these filthy pigs. They're going to live next to me. We care about migrants, but they should live elsewhere, not in the United States. Cinema is dying. Instead of entertainment, it has become political information. The Oscars are dying. The Oscars, the Tonys are dying. And now it's on its last legs, like the Grammys. It's on its last legs, the Grammys. I'm not sure about its gender, male, female, or otherwise. These days, there could be 64 or even 82 genders. I don't remember right now because social demand, ladies and gentlemen, is not entertainment. It's not just for fun. Personally, I want to enjoy the movie theater, listen to music, and enjoy ballet. Yes, I admit it. I enjoy ballet. Oh my God, I know you probably despise me right now, but I don't want to pay for them instead of myself. It's my own money, after all. I'm the one paying. Well, most of the time I pay. Active guys say that Marx, I pay money, I do pay, I will become absolutely wonderful forever after this. But at the same time, you can't take anything away from them because they sing loudly, dress extravagantly, and are completely devoid of logic in their words and actions. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grammys have turned from a worldwide entertainment event into a meaningless gathering of mediocrities, where awards go not to the best, but to the most politically correct, the most loyal bootlickers of the party. Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I really hope that nothing depends on them at all, absolutely nothing depends on them, and that they just hung out, shouted, went their separate ways, got high, sniffed something, completely forgot what they said, and won't meddle in our souls anymore, but they will. We don't care about them just as much as they don't care about us. Absolutely the same. They couldn't care less about us, and don't tell anyone we couldn't care less about them.